A 360-kilogram cow fell through a man's roof while he was sleeping and crushed him to death in his own bed. Not a nightmare. Not a freak storm. Not a gas leak or a fire. A cow. Through the ceiling. While he slept. João Maria de Souza was in his home in Caratinga, Brazil, in 2013. A cow had wandered from a nearby hillside onto the corrugated steel roof of his house. The roof gave way. The animal, all 3,000 pounds of it, came crashing through directly onto the bed where he was sleeping with his wife. His wife walked away uninjured. The cow walked away uninjured. João died the next morning from internal bleeding. That story is on this list. And it is not the most disturbing one. In this video, I am going to walk you through 8 of the most terrifying, real documented home accident deaths in recorded history. These are not urban legends. They are not horror movies. Every single case on this list is verified. Every name is real. Every death happened inside or around someone's home, a place that is supposed to be the safest spot on Earth. By the time we get to number 4, you will never look at your office building the same way. And by the time we get to the last one, let's just say some people do not make it out of their own laundry room. Let's get into it. Case 1. The Cow Through the Roof, Brazil, 2013. We already opened on this one, but let me give you the full picture because the details make it even worse. João Maria de Souza was asleep in the city of Caratinga, Brazil. His house sat at the base of a hill. A cow from a neighboring property had wandered onto that hill, stepped onto the steel roof, and the roof collapsed under its weight. The animal landed directly on João. His wife, sleeping beside him, was unhurt. The cow, somehow, was also unhurt. João was rushed to the hospital with severe internal injuries. He died the next day. The cause of death was internal bleeding caused by a cow falling on him inside his own bedroom. He survived the night. He died in a hospital bed the next morning. Meaning for several hours, he was alive knowing exactly what had happened to him, and there was nothing anyone could do. Now, as ridiculous as that sounds, the next one is somehow worse. Because this one happened at a funeral. Case 2, impaled by dishwasher, Canada, 21st century. A man traveled to Vernon, British Columbia, to attend his father's funeral. He arrived at his mother's house. He was grieving. He was distracted. And somewhere in that house, the dishwasher door had been left open. He tripped. When he fell forward, the cutlery tray was loaded with knives pointing upward. He came down directly onto them and was fatally impaled. He had just buried his father. He died in his mother's kitchen on the same day. There was no malice. No crime. No disaster. Just an open appliance door and one wrong step. That is all it took. The next case proves that sometimes, it is not the appliances that kill you. Sometimes, it is the pets. Case 3, trapped by berserk cats, Iran, 1870. In 1870, in Iran, a wealthy woman kept a large number of cats inside her home. When a fire broke out in the building, the cats became trapped. 2 maids were sent in to free them. The cats, driven into a complete panic by the fire and the chaos, turned on the maids. The attack was so severe and so sustained that both women died from their injuries. Think about that. Not one maid. Both of them. Killed by house cats driven mad by fear, inside a burning building, in 1870. There was no escape. No way to call for help. Just 2 women sent into an inferno to rescue animals that turned around and tore them apart. And now we are going to talk about a lawyer who decided to prove a point, and paid for it with his life. Case 4. The 24th floor window jump, Canada, 1993. Gary Hoy was a senior partner at a Toronto law firm. By all accounts, he was sharp, respected, and well-regarded. He had a habit he had performed before, throwing himself against the windows of the firm's 24th floor office to demonstrate to articling students that the glass was unbreakable. He had done it before and walked away fine. On July 9, 1993, he did it again in front of a group of students. This time, the glass did not shatter, but the window popped entirely out of its frame. Gary Hoy fell 24 floors to his death. The glass held. The frame did not. And the difference between those 2 outcomes was the difference between a party trick and a fatality. He won a Darwin Award. His death was ruled accidental. And somewhere in a Toronto law office, there is a window frame that was never replaced. And look, I have not even gotten to the one that shocked me the most when I was researching this. That one is coming up shortly. But first, a woman walked into a wellness machine and never walked back out. And look, I have not even gotten to the sewage tank. That one is coming up shortly. It is the one that genuinely stopped me mid-research. A sitting mayor. Her own property. 15 feet of human waste. That story is next. Case 5, Asphyxiation in a Cryotherapy Chamber, Las Vegas, 2015. Chelsea Ake Salvation was a 24-year-old woman working at a cryotherapy spa in Las Vegas. Cryotherapy chambers are used for pain management and recovery. They expose the body to extreme cold for short periods using liquid nitrogen. After her shift, she used the machine alone. After hours, with no one else present, the machine reduced the oxygen level in the chamber to a lethal level. Chelsea lost consciousness before she could exit. She was found the next morning, frozen inside the cryotherapy unit. She was 24 years old. She worked at the facility. She knew how the machine operated. None of that mattered, because the moment the oxygen dropped, there was no recovery. Cryotherapy is still legal and widely available across the United States. The safety requirements vary by state. And if you think dying at the hands of a wellness machine is bizarre, wait until you hear about the deputy mayor of Delhi and the monkeys. Case 6, Fatal Monkey Attack, India, 2007. Surinder Singh Bajwa was the deputy mayor of Delhi. One morning in 2007, he was on the balcony of his home when a group of wild rhesus monkeys attacked him. He fell from the balcony trying to fight them off and died from his injuries. He was not in a jungle. He was not on a safari. He was on his own balcony, in the capital city of India, and he was killed by monkeys. At the time, Delhi had a serious and well-documented problem with urban monkey populations. Thousands of monkeys lived in and around the city, raiding homes, attacking residents, and causing ongoing public safety issues. The deputy mayor was dealing with this problem at a civic level. He died because of it at a personal one. One of the highest-ranking officials in the city of Delhi was killed by wildlife on his own property. And nobody could have predicted it would end that way. But now, we get to the one I warned you about. And I want you to understand, this is a real person, a sitting public official, and this is how her life ended. Case 7, Sewage Tank Drowning, Maryland, 20th century. Monica Meyer was the mayor of Betterton, Maryland. She was inspecting the town's sewage tanks at her own property when she fell into one of them. The tank was 15 feet deep. It was filled with human waste. She drowned. There were no witnesses. There was no warning. There was no dramatic sequence of events. She was doing her job, a job that, for the mayor of a small town, included hands-on infrastructure inspections. She slipped, she fell, and she was gone. Monica Meyer was not a reckless person. She was not doing something foolish. She was working. And one moment of lost footing in the wrong location ended everything. That is what makes this one stay with you. It is not the grotesque detail. It is the randomness. The complete, total, indifferent randomness of it. Case 8, The Haunted Laundry Elevator, USA, 20th century. And now, the final case. The one that, in some ways, is the most quietly terrifying of all of them. Small residential laundry elevators, also called dumbwaiters, were common features in older American homes. They were used to transport laundry between floors. They were not designed for people. They were not built with safety interlocks. And in multiple documented cases across the 20th century, people, often children, climbed inside them, became trapped, and were crushed or suffocated when the mechanism activated. These deaths happened in homes. In family houses. In places where the most dangerous thing anyone expected to find was a wet floor or a hot stove. The dumbwaiter sat in the wall. It looked harmless. Children climbed in because children explore. And the machine did what it was built to do, it moved, and it did not know there was a person inside. No malice. No monster. Just a domestic appliance doing exactly what it was designed to do at exactly the wrong moment. And that is the thread running through every single case on this list. A cow on a hillside. An open dishwasher drawer. A window frame. A cryotherapy chamber. A balcony. A sewage tank. A dumbwaiter. None of these people woke up that morning expecting to die. None of them were in extraordinary circumstances. They were home, or close to it. They were doing ordinary things. And the ordinary world killed them in ways no one could have anticipated. That is the part that does not leave you. The danger was not somewhere out there. It was right there. In the walls. On the roof. In the kitchen. On the balcony. In the machine that was supposed to make life easier. There are still more cases like these, documented, verified, and just as disturbing, that I have not even touched yet. If you want part 2, tell me in the comments. Because the list does not stop here. Not even close.